What is the dumbest way you got laid? Left the oven on from dinner before going on a date to see a film. Paranoid about the house burning down while at the cinema on a date. Whisper to her about these concerns so we leave. We get home and I rush in and turn off the oven. Date says wait, you actually left it on there? Yeah, I did. Okay, bye, I'll see you tomorrow. Made a friend some jam tarts, which impressed her housemate enough to pursue me. I'm not much of a looker, and she was incredible. Don't know why it all happened, I'd even burnt the tarts. Looking up jam tart recipes right now. Woke up to a commotion outside my room the morning after a night out. It was my flatmate with some girl he'd brought home. He was out separately, and her friend just chatting. I got up all groggy, went to the bathroom, and when I came back this girl's friend just followed me back into bed, and that was that. Later I found out that she assumed she had come back with me originally, but just woke up on the sofa for some reason. I guess she just decided to resume from where she thought we had been. Definitely the least amount of effort I've ever had to put into getting laid. Just kinda walked into that one hard. Well, that was a freebie. Was a virgin at the time. Had some people over playing Cards Against Humanity. It's not a serious game even when you're playing it, so sometimes we would show people the card we drew as a replacement if it was like perfect for the hand we had just played. I don't remember what the black card we were playing to was anymore, but I drew the friends with benefits white card and it would have been perfect for it, so I leaned over and showed my friend sitting next to me. Later everyone left and she stayed behind and we were talking and she assumed I meant it as a request. I hadn't even thought of that but rolled with it. Task failed successfully. I don't know how you did it, but you used the wrong formula and got the right answer. I was taking care of a professor's kitten, Emma. Milk, and another student was as well. There was a schedule. Somehow we got crossed up and ended up there at the same time, and a night later we were banging. How's Emma? Milk now? Being the best wingman there ever was to all the lonely chaps across the world. Had a chick literally follow me home. I was on rollerblades so I was nice and waited at every corner for her. Apparently that was enough. You got laid wearing rollerblades? Wow. I'm imagining he kept the rollerblades on, standing behind the lady and using the blades to smoothly and quickly slide in and out using just his arms to move. Met this girl once and about 3 months later I saw her again and she got really excited to see me. We were talking for a little bit and out of nowhere bet me that I didn't remember her name. Well, I didn't. She was instantly turned on by that. Basically dragged me to her house by my belt buckle. Whoa, that's like 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain and 100% reason to remember the name. Fuck, I need to remember more names. The trick is to repeat their name to them. Hi, I'm Emma Bastire. Hi Emma Bastire, nice to meet you. Tried in calls for example, it works really well. Took a bet in a pub in Toronto, went to a girl and whispered to her ear I can speak French between your legs, was ready and waiting for the physical comeback to hit my face. Instead she spilled all of her drink through her nose and we ended up at her place. We were watching Rocky Horror Picture Show and he asked if I asked politely, will you have sex with me? I was planning to in a way but the way he asked made me laugh. What a gentleman. Straight up asked a girl by the end of a party if she wanted to bang, just like that, so wanna bang? She said no. Then I asked her if she had better plans for the night, which landed me a hun. Fair enough and boom, laid. I'm not that hot, just a fit the 4th of Jan 10, oddly 7-8 to gay dudes. Met a girl on Tinder and we decided to bake cookies together at 1 AM after I left work. As soon as the cookies were done she looked over at me and asked if I wanted to go fuck. I asked politely to lose my virginity back in the day, so that might be a bit of a dumb way to go about it. No gimmicks, just would you mind if I lost my V card to you? It'd be nice if my first time was with someone I knew and trusted. No awkwardness after, just a one-off so I can learn. Double quote. That worked. Yes. As I said, dumb way for it to happen, but indeed, it did. I knew she wasn't in a relationship at the time, and it worked out. And since I did say I wanted to learn, it was pretty educational too. More details. Are you still friends? How was it? Was she giving you pointers during? Yes, though over the years due to working in different cities we grew apart a bit. Our personalities didn't mesh for romantic relations, but we keep as friends. Still easily the best I ever had, many years later. She was a beauty, an active participant, a caring lover, and she definitely practiced her cudgels. Arguably this is a bad thing, because the corollary is everyone since has been lacking by comparison in some way. I flowers for all journey my sex drive. And yes, from every aspect you have in the umbrella of vanilla, all of immediately prior, during, and reviewing each action. Some of which I'm sure looking back were likely uncomfortable for her, given my inexperience at the time doing them, so, you know, full respect. In college, I met a girl at a party and we hit it off. We started hanging out and she told me she liked making sweets and her favorite was rock candy. Eventually I got the "I don't know if I want a relationship right now" text and that crushed me. Saturday night, I was drinking at home wallowing in my sorrow when I got a text from her asking if I wanted to try making rock candy. My stupid drunk ass thought she actually wanted to make candy, so I walked the 3 blocks to her house and told her I was ready to make some. She said, "I didn't invite you over to actually make rock candy." Part of me was disappointed I didn't get to make any candy, but hey, forgettable drunk sex. She got some cock candy instead. Had a girl grab me by the dick, tell me she wanted it right now, then after an embarrassingly short duration of her tornado hipping me to ejaculation, she put her panties on and started crying saying Jesus wouldn't love her because of what she'd done. No, she wasn't a virgin. So I apologized completely confused and made the resolution of that never happening again. 6 years later she saw one of my friends and casually said that I raped her after asking how I was doing. Good thing you didn't stick your dick in crazy then. At a party when a really cute Asian girl ran up to me holding her hair awkwardly and asking me where the bathroom was, I told her and she grabbed my hand and pulled me down the hall with her. In the bathroom she said she needed help washing the ketchup out of her hair. She let go of her hair and in her hand was a couple of ketchup packets. Then she says, "Okay, let's take a shower." Who am I to argue? To this day, I have no idea what her name was. I told her that we should fuck, just as a joke. We should fuck, haha, I'm only joking. Unless you actually wanted to. But haha, no, I'm only joking. Dot unless. Dot, but that'd be crazy, right? Haha, but. My best friend and I were having a going away party as we were moving out of state. We pretty much looked alike, both tall with long shoulder length hair. One of our mutual friends arranged for him to get laid as a going away gift. All the girl knew about him was he's tall with long hair. Long story short, he cut his hair the day before the party and I ended up getting laid. At a party, very drunk. I stumble up to a friend talking to several people I don't recognize. I say hey and just sort of nod along to the conversation. Random girl in the group says something like it's not a party till people start making out, so I drunkenly ask why we aren't making out, which I cringe at now. She asks if I'm serious, I say yeah, we make out for maybe 5 seconds, and conversation resumes. I keep bumping into her throughout the night, we keep making out longer and harder, eventually we go back to her car to screw. As a disclaimer, I'm really not that hot. I just didn't give a fuck. Did she maybe have a thing for you already? I doubt it. Our most significant interaction up to that point was me stepping aside to let her get up a small staircase. Broke my foot in a motorcycle accident. I worked with a cute redhead and she was feeling extra bad for me and I was feeling my pain meds and casually asked her if she was into cheap, meaningless sex. She smiled and we had sex that night. I only saw her once after that night, but she was cool as hell. When I was 18 I was at a costume party after being dumped by a guy earlier that day. A few drinks later and after venting to my best friend, I got up, stood in the yard and said I just want to fuck someone who doesn't care about me. Guy standing near me in a cow costume turned his head, said let's go and led me into the house and upstairs. I went to use a public phone box, yes, I am that old, and there was a lady who came up to it just behind me. I actually didn't want to make the call, so I said that she could go first. After her call she waited outside the phone booth, and when I was done she said that she was so touched by my chivalrous actions that she wanted to buy me a drink. We jumped in her car and she took me straight to her place and we had sex. It was pretty awesome. My wife fucked up and married me. I've been laid more than 7 times. No need to brag. Played spin the bottle with 3 other friends. 2 friends were given some kind of lame dare to kiss each other but were embarrassed to kiss in front of me and my female friend. So female friend says let us go out the room so they can kiss. Won't take a second. I leave the room with her so my other friend can kiss in private, which I thought was weird. She closes the door, proceeds to start passionately kissing me, and before I know it we had sex up the wall of my bathroom. She was pretty much a 10/10 and I am not. Couldn't believe my luck. Some 20 years ago I was at the university. At a party I got into a conversation with a girl about the latest book in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. Far from being a turn off and showing what a massive geek I am was, that girl actually loved the Wheel of Time and other fantasy novels. One thing led to another and we ended up doing the naked conga at my place. Never thought my love for fantasy novels would get me laid. I was chatting with a girl and just asked out of the blue, so your place or mine? She looked me up and down, took a drag off her cigarette and said, mine. Chug your beer, let's go. I once randomly texted a girl that my friend gave me the number. I said hey, it's the Brad Pitt of insert city here. I then proceeded to lose my virginity to her. Best 3 seconds of my life. Actually how I lost my virginity. Had a date with a girl. She wasn't really into it, but wanted to stay friends. About 3 weeks later I had another date with a completely different girl, during which said girl showed clear signals that she wanted to get away from me. Quite the bummer, but you can't win them all. Me, clearly frustrated, messaged girl 1 from 3 weeks prior about it, and she just casually mentions that she has the evening free and we could hang out. I had nothing to do so I agreed. 3 hours later and we lay in her bed watching some stupid Pixar movie that I didn't pay attention to. What I did pay attention to was my growing bulging close proximity to her ass. She had clearly noticed, because about 5 minutes later, she just grabbed my hand and put it on one of her breasts. I gave it a bit of a test squeeze and she was into it. And that's how I lost my virginity. Had sex 4 times that night and 2 times in the morning. Also kept fucking for another month until we realized that if we wanted to elevate the sex from okay to amazing we would have to be more compatible, so we dropped it. When I asked her why, she just randomly decided to fuck me. After all, she just told me I was fucking horny and you are a nice guy, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Guess nice guys can finish first after all. We were hanging out and drinking with some friends at my place. Friends of my friends called asking where they were and showed up with bottles of drinks. Place got kinda crowded and hanging out with friends turned into having a little party somehow. I was already drunk when they came over, so 2 hours into the night, everything started spinning. Felt like I was gonna puke, so I went back to my room and sat on my bed to get away from it all. This girl who I barely even met came into my room asking if everything was alright, and I told her I was fine and I'd be back in a while. She insisted that I went back and hang out with them, and she grabbed my hands and tried to pull me up to get me to stand up. I was pretty drunk so I couldn't maintain my balance when she pulled me up, so I immediately fell back to my bed, but halfway through, my hands looked for something to hold on to. I grabbed on her ass cheeks to keep my balance. It was a laggy reflex. I was gonna apologize and shit, but she thought I was trying to throw her on my bed and just went with it. I never intended to hook up with that girl that night, but who am I to say no? At Ike, wouldn't it be fun to go fuck in one of the fake showers? It was. It was fun to fuck in one of the fake showers. Bro, how in the fuck did you not get caught? There was a shower curtain. Almost did get caught by some old ladies when we were zipping up. We just kinda ran off and bought our shitty coffee table or whatever. So how the cookies came out? I'm not sure. I left before I could try one. I ended up making my own the next day and those turned out fantastically. I've been married 7 or 8 years, eh? Got once a year? Do people have that much?